Well, it's February. Now that's turned into our coldest month. We got lots of seedlings around. The plants are in the window. And I'm not through planting either. Once this seriously cold weather, the temperatures below 20 Fahrenheit end, then I will put everything in the greenhouse, except for the peppers, of course. Anything they can handle freezing will go in the greenhouse, but for now, for the next couple of weeks, I have to keep these indoors, which is good because it's going to take that long for them to get really up and at them anyway. One of my retired dogs. Hey, Roger. What's up, Raj? He's retired. Greenhouse is fine, handling all the wind. Doesn't seem to mind all the wind. And it's very, very windy. Those trees just bending back and forth. Really cold. Greenhouse is doing good. If I bury the flaps, see, handling the sleet. There's quite a bit of sleet built up here. It's been below 20 degrees every single night for a long time, talking 20 Fahrenheit. Very cold. My fig trees, they die to the ground. Most of them don't bear good. That one does. This one, it's a Celeste, it doesn't. Anyway. The horses have icicles on them. That's how cold it is. Look at these big old icicles. They're just all over. Really, really cold. They're eating a bale every day. And I'm also adding a portion of a bale of alfalfa to it for extra strong proteins and minerals, because alfalfa is a legume. Look at that. I mean, she is definitely made for the northern hemisphere. She can tolerate that. Look at this. This little horse has icicles big enough to kill somebody. They fall on them. Wow. That's some icicles. You got some icicles, Gwen. Even hanging from your chin. That's what I call cold. You can see the house is nice and warm, but it's very cold out here. That big tall cane there, that's a shortwave radio wire you see going there. I made that because I really had great intentions of shortwave radio before I had internet here. It wasn't available. But unfortunately, shortwave radio is all shut down. Not very many people at all are on it. The channels have all shut down. Oh, it's cold. Very, very cold. And this isn't snow. What you're looking at here is nothing but little tiny beads of ice. Nothing but sleet. Everything's frozen. There's my failure of a bat house on top of that pole there. I hope it doesn't get too much colder than this. I think it's supposed to get, hopefully, I'm just thinking it might be 12 degrees they're forecasting. It was 7 or 6 degrees, but they don't ever tell you the truth. You never know. And as far as growing a winter garden, I have to use the greenhouse and grow transplants indoors. Something I learned from Charles Dowding. I call him Sir Charles Dowding because he's from the UK, and he's definitely like a royal blood to me because he's taught me so many things, led me in my gardening ventures. But Charles Dowding, he taught me to transplant into the ground and get a head start constantly. Lots of things I wouldn't normally transplant from, and also to multi-sow. I recommend him. Anyway, the bamboo has been eaten by the horses, as you can see, as high as they can reach. I can cut that bamboo down like that. As far as winter, the garden, as you can see, I planted this with everything. All the cruciferum plants, the cauliflowers, the cabbages, the kales, the radish, the broccolis, whatever. I've got them all planted. And most of them actually died because it's already gotten down to 10 degrees. And that kills them. unless they're covered in snow. When they're young seedlings, that is. And unfortunately, I didn't get to plant them early because it was so dry. We didn't have any rain. Now that's over. We're getting our sleet. Now that we don't have anything growing, we get rain and precipitation. It's just how it is. Once it starts to grow, we don't get any more rain. Some things are evergreen, like the bamboo and the privet hedge, they're evergreen. And the honeysuckle. See the honeysuckle vines on the trees? They're evergreen. And isn't it funny that those are the very things the animals can eat this time of year? And they love them. They're pretty nice. And over there you see all the birds under the evergreen exotic anonymous bush. When it snows, the birds come around and get grain. I just love that greenhouse. Inside the greenhouse, it's nice and green because it keeps the sleet off the plants, keeps the frost from falling onto the plants. And so you can see there's plenty to eat in there. And those are going to be, I got these buckets from a candy factory. They just throw them away all the time. I'm going to make them into plant pots. Grow a lot more in plants containers. It's so frozen out here. That's anonymous. Its leaves are frozen. The goats love them. You can see they're all tipped by deer and goats. And that thing out there that looks like somebody all covered up in clothing and bent over, that's a fig tree. And underneath these things, those are all fig trees. It's just how it is. You got to wrap them up around here. It's zone 7A. Very, very cold. So that's it. I got mad at a guy who married my aunt and killed a deer here, one of my pets. And so he came back, and this old oak, he poured a bottle of poison on it, killed it, just to spite me. But at least it's feeding woodpeckers, and they're making nest holes in it. And the female only chooses one nest for him, so all the others are abandoned, and the other birds get to use them. So these dead trees are really good for wildlife, for birds especially. And even though it's wintertime, there's still mushrooms you can eat. And this is a pile of mushroom logs. You can see there's mushrooms sticking on that one. I've been picking them a lot. Now they're not growing right now at this moment. It's too cold, too frozen. Those mushrooms aren't edible right there. Yes, it's a cold, sleet-prone day. Nobody's driving down the road.